I'm sure you heard of the lady when they were passing to one another who will be dramatizing her arm.
Can you see that? I want camera to show it. You wonder, they told you that they don't see anything like bone there. If witches can do this, my God can do better than witches.
Yes, sir. Yes.
In the mighty name of Jesus. Mighty name of Jesus. I retrieve her bone from the household of witches. Give me the bone. Give me the bone.
Yes.
Give me her bone.
Yes.
I know.
Look at power. Hey.
I know. It's not far from me. I know.
You've got fire in your eyes, nothing hard from you. Hey, you see everything, even the deepest secret of men. Expose every evil, consume every wickedness. You are the all-consuming fire. Come and manifest yourself.
There was a damage control video made for Chris Okarfor of which she was interviewed. That was actually before she was arrested. Listen to her 3 years ago talk about the situation around her being used by pastors for healing.
What is your name again?
My name is Bosola.
Okay. welcome to CKN. Now, when did you get the accident that caused the
accident around 2 years now.
About 2 years. Yes. Is it motor accident, Okada accident, or which kind of accident?
I just fell down.
You fell down
yes.
in the house? And, okay. Can you remember how many churches you have gone to heal this hand?
I've been to many churches. I've read tell you.
Okay.
Yes. I go to many churches.
Okay.
They will heal me.
They will heal you?
Yes, now.
Then after healing you 2 days?
Yes.
It will come back again?
Yes, now. Then try their best.
Okay.
They'll heal me.
Okay.
So after 2 days, I want to come back. And I don't know what to do. That's why I tell my husband's sister. I took me to Chris Okarfor hospital.
Yes. Okay. Okay.
And I reached there, I'm okay.
Okay. Before you meet Bishop Okarfor, do you know him before? Have you met him before?
I don't meet him. I don't meet him anywhere. I don't know him. He don't know me. I don't know him. I don't collect any money from my hand. And I don't give him any money. All the place where I go, they don't collect money from my hand.
Okay.
I know that I don't get money. I don't get money now. I have the same money.
And you tell him say you don't go other churches before. You tell him anything, ask you any question?
No.
You know, ask
I
you
don't ask me any question.
Okay.
Just heal me. In doing home for God.
Okay.
Yes.
And they talk say they go collect 1 million from churches where they take do am.
Yeah.
Say they take do miracle.
That's true. If I collect 1 million, I don't go be like this. 1 million. Hey, they no collect. I no collect money for them, and they no give. They no collect money from my hand, and I no give them any money.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So now you believe say this your hand don't heal.
It don't heal since this day.
Make we see the hand. Since that the way
that's
Bishop
6 days. Yes.
6 days
It don't heal me.
It don't heal.
Yes. Now today be 6 days now.
So
see my hand. I'm okay.
You're okay. Are you very sure? Or you just
I'm
talk
okay, Daddy. I'm okay.
Okay.
I'm okay. Because Bishop no Chris Okarfor don't know me from anywhere.
Okay.
No know me from anywhere. I just pray that God will do my own there. And I reach there, God do my own.
Okay.
So
what you go talk about Bishop Okarfor as a person? What you want to tell him?
Please, I want to tell Bishop Okarfor, thank you, because what's how I go put it?
Now God use.
Now God used to heal me. Now God used to heal me because it's this day. My hand no go down the same way again.
Okay.
But I thank God and I thank Bishop Okarfor.
For waiting he do for you.
For waiting he do for me.
So
because you don't know me from anywhere.
So as it be like this now, you know go another church again.
I know they will go another church because I don't receive. I know that the healing will be permanent for me.
Okay.
Yes.
So are you be Christian or Muslim?
I be Muslim.
You Muslim.
Yes.
Okay. So but you still go church.
Yes.
To get healing.
Yes, now.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So to those Nigerian people where they talk say you don't collect money.
I don't collect money. Nigerian people, I don't have any money. As you see me, and I'm not run to anywhere. I did my sister's house. I don't run to anywhere. I don't collect money for anybody. I don't have money. If I have 1 million, I don't go be like this. Look at me, Nigeria. Look at me. I don't collect money. They don't give me money, and I don't give them money. They just now help. Then do for me.
Now, if you listen carefully to her, she said that after being healed by this pastor, they go back and then the issue comes back again. Quite interesting. So what kind of healing? Because she was saying that in defense of Chris Okarfor. So other pastors, they did their best. They healed her, and then after 2 days, the sickness comes back again. The miracles happen, and then tomorrow it comes back again. Okay, but if you listen to what she said already attentively, now let's reconcile what she said to what happened when she was arrested according to the news on Punch newspaper. Everything I'm talking about right now, please make sure to verify them, because on this platform it is fact over whatever sentiment you have about anyone, about myself, or whatever is being discussed. Just face the fact. So as well as she talked about in the video, she said how she got that condition was from an accident she had about 2 years ago, which is different from the interview that is reported here on Punch newspaper when she was arrested and all that. So we are going to be looking at some few details of what she said, and then we try to reconcile both of them. Elijah, send down fire. Bless my altar. Going on right here, so she was asked, what religion do you practice? She said she's a Muslim. But when she was now asked right here, why did you start faking miracles for churches? She now said, after my mother's death, I started working with a food vendor. I worked for 9 years. In 1999, I had an accident and my leg and hand were affected, which is different from what she said on the interview.
When did you get the accident that caused
the accident around 2 years now.
About 2 years.
That's actually a long number of years. So she said the food vendor I was working with could no longer engage me because of the injuries. So I went to my sister's place in Igado and stayed with her from 2000 to 2003 when I met my husband. He married me with the injuries. We had 3 children together. He died in October 3rd, 2017. Sorry for your loss. There was nothing for me again. No helper, no house for me to stay. I relocated with my children to my sister's shop where we were living. It was at the shop I met a girl called Fatila Musa. I begged her for money and she gave me 1,000 naira. She saw my hand and said if she took me to some churches, I would make some money. She left and returned in September 2018, and then she took me to a church in Ogba, Lagos. You understand? So someone saw her with her hand and saw an opportunity. But seeing an opportunity like that, it just gets you to understand what actually happens in church. So when she was asked, how did you go to be used for fake miracles when you meet him? So she said here, before Fetila took me there, she taught me how I would act when we go to the church. We did the rehearsal at home. She taught me how to first hang my hand. Okay, so the person that was her business partner was teaching her every single move on how to actually deceive the people. Remember, this is now different from what she said in the interview back in 2019 when it was actually a hot thing, because at this point right now, she was actually being arrested. So I think she had to say the truth. We went to the church at night. I sat when I got to the church and the pastor came. He took me to the altar. He asked me if I believed my hand could heal, and I said yes. Meanwhile, the girl had already sent my picture to him and he already knew what he wanted to do. So with this right now, the pastor doesn't need to meet her in person, but just know who he has to call out at the church, you know, when the whole thing has to start. So when you look at things like this, sometimes as well, these things are really does stage. Sometimes, let's say, a bigger pastor might be going to one of his branches, which is maybe in another country or another city or something. The host pastor or one of his pastors, his pastor or the host person, if it's another ministry, would give him or her some names and maybe some problems of some of their members, so that when the visiting pastor comes, he comes right there, of which is supposed to be seen as him not knowing the environment or knowing anyone, to then come and be giving prophecy. I see this, I see this, I see that. But whatever he's speaking at that point is because of a pre-information of what he has been told or what he, you know, about those who are there or those who will be coming to church then.
Are you listening to me? The tragedy I've seen in the church is many men are looking for the works of God and the power of God, but they do not want to know God. Are you listening to me?
Yeah.
Psalms 103 verse 7. Hallelujah.
Praise the Lord.
Are you following me now?
Yes, sir.
There are many people, and then suddenly many ministers and many ministries realize that because they are not walking by the principles of God, the required grace and power to move forward and attract, in quotes, the crowd is not there. So what happens? They begin to visit all kinds of witch doctors. Can I tell you? Let me tell you the truth. I tell you as a servant of the living God,
yes, sir,
there are more men of God than you can imagine that visit witch doctors every week in this country, including those you see on TV, including some of them that you sit under the administrations.
Did you hear that? Did you hear that?
Hey! Oh, that Now, I'm not saying that they may not be the real ones where it happens by the authority and the power of God, but you have to know that there are actually fake ones and they are very real. Until one is being exposed, you will not know that it's actually fake. Like when we looked at the whole miracle money nonsense. So she said here, he put a towel on my hand and prayed. He put oil on the towel to rub my hand. Immediately he removed the towel. I started putting down my hand gradually, she demonstrated. Fetila gave me 9,000 when she left the church. 3 days after, I returned to Pastor Tony Anthony's church on Sunday. The pastor asked me to come out and he told the congregants that he held me with 1 million naira. She was given 9,000 naira, but the pastor told the people 1 million naira. That is another degree of scam, because that now gives the people the impression that, oh wow, this pastor is doing amazingly well. He's helping the poor, he's helping the needy. He didn't just heal her, but actually gave her this amount of money. So if you were the one sowing seed at that time, that Sunday you are going to sow higher because you are seeing the pastor doing wonderfully well, but that was a lie. This is coming from the source herself. But he didn't give me anything, she said. If he had given me 1 million that day, I would not have gone to another church. So her excuse for going from one church to the other was because, of course, she needed money. And that is now very clear, because in the video, she wasn't talking about that aspect of money as well. So you can now imagine to yourself, how much was she given by Chris Okarfor for that? But let's go on as we get to that particular point. Elijah, send down fire, bless my altar. All the pastors were already aware of the whole thing, and she was the coordinator. We would do rehearsals and she would send videos to the pastor. I would bring down the hand as they started praying for me. They knew everything was arranged because the girl had told them already. So the pastor doesn't need to meet the girl, the woman, at first. Okay, so this person that is the in-betweener gets to do the practice with her and everything, and then she becomes a marketer, marketing this woman to the pastors. And guess what? They're able to successfully come and stage whatever miracle they want to stage. I don't know if you're understanding what is happening right here, because this happens a lot of time and it will keep happening. You don't believe me? At least you heard the person of Pastor Matthew Ashimolowo, who came across the same news and called those pastors what? Charlatans. Continue. So when she was now asked, where else did you go for the fake miracles? I didn't see the girl again until 2019. I followed her to Port Harcourt River State. She took me to 2 churches. Now we have 2 more. One of the pastors did his own fake miracle at a market. We saw the video last time. And then she also took me to a church in 𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻 State. In October 2019, she took me to the Mountain of Liberation and Miracle Ministry in 𝐲𝐨𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻, which is the last church I went to. The name is Pastor Chris Okarfor. So the last place she went to was Pastor Chris Okarfor, which is what brought the attention. Remember, like I always tell you right here, attention is currency, whether you like it or not. This video right now is relevant to you watching it because I am talking about probably the person of Pastor Chris Okarfor, or you have seen Matthew Ashimolowo mentioned right here. Before right now, of course, I've made a couple of videos about Allen Onyema, what is happening in Sudan, fraudulent activities, internet scam, and Yahoo and Yahoo Plus. Many of you didn't watch it because that is not your interest, but you are following me. Now I'm talking about what I know is your interest. You are here watching me. Always remember what catches your attention, because right now, even the way this particular news is being tagged by Punch newspaper, Chris Okarfor, because the other ones might just be, you know, sorry to say, mushroom, you know, upcoming charlatans. But when it comes to the big name that is established, that is where the fight comes. So when I talk about like the big brands and expose obvious facts about them that are there already on social media, the big fight starts. You see people in the comment fighting and they want to tear my clothes, tear my neck, catch me, do this, arrest me and all that, because that is a big brand. And this right here is a big brand. You understand? So just face that fact. But as I sat in the church, the pastor called my name. I went out. I have never seen him before, but Fetila had already given him all the details. So you see there what we saw in the video of Chris Okarfor doing what he was doing, because I asked you in the other video, how come this woman, you understand? Because you saw the video right here where she was saying that she herself had, Pastor Chris Okarfor was the one that healed that. That was just a damage control before this happened. You are there doing as if you are doing a miracle, doing magic, dancing, doing your hand like this as if you are doing something. But you know yourself that it's actually a scam. And even if you don't know that it's actually a scam, would the woman just come by herself with the way she's financially handicapped to come there, to come and throw a show for you because she loves God so much? And she's a Muslim to even start with. So what would be her motivation to come do that? Think about that yourself as well, my dear, well lovely. Because these people are still existing. They're still operating. For me, myself, if you are able to stage one miracle intentionally, because this is premeditated, it's not something that just happens spontaneously. If you are able to stage 1, 2, 3, Oga, you are a certified charlatan. But I will not be the one to call you. I will let your members who are watching this video right now be the one to look you in the face and ask you questions. Oga, why are you doing this? Moving on right here. She gave me 10,000 naira after we left the church. Fetila called me and said one brother Henry from the church would give me 400,000 naira. She later sent Henry's mobile number to me and I called him. Henry asked me to send him my account number and I did. After some days, he sent 400,000 into my account. Alright? So, Fetila herself must have gotten some money for bringing her. And now that brother Henry had to send her 400,000 naira. Wow. That's big business. Even though right now, hey, this is a story from way back. But these people are still very much around right now. The question we should be asking is that, have they turned a new leaf or is this continuing? Because if videos of that particular incident are still being used today to validate the power of God, which miracles are real? I think someone has to speak to the fact that this here is not in any way the power of God, but indeed right here is a display of charlatanism. Someone has to speak to that fact. A fact is a fact. She was now asked, why did Henry send money to you? He said I should not be involved in fake miracles again. He told me that the money should be used to rent a shop and an apartment. I used the money to rent a shop in Igando where the police arrested me. So you see, maybe Henry himself in the church is well informed. Because after the big brand has done his own staging, come on, it will be so belittling that she leaves the big brand and then goes to another smaller brand, except she has to go higher to go do the same thing. Because right now she's moved from the small to the big one. And look at the big hit, 400,000 naira as at 2020 is not chicken change. You get what I mean? All right? Because that video you saw was 2019 as at where I saw it on Facebook. But this particular post on Punch is 2020. So what happened between the 2029 and 2020 between the time when this post was made on Punch? Send down fire. Bless my altar. So Henry himself would just want to cover the track so that if this one goes viral and everyone knows her, because when you're exposed to the big brand, you go viral, everyone knows your face. Next time, if you go to another pastor again, or more, people will be like, we know this woman before. So when she was asked, why did Henry send money to you? So she was now asked, in your encounter with Pastor Chris Okarfor, he said your hand paralyzed after you fell from the bed, whereas you claimed you had an accident. Who is telling the truth? I don't know how the pastor came up with all he was saying, but saying about me when I was in his church. Maybe it was the Fetila that told him to say all those things. Fetila herself is a good contractor, I would say. He's a good contractor. After service, did you meet Pastor Chris Okarfor one-on-one? No, there was no meeting. I left after the service. I didn't discuss with the pastor. It is the girl I know. Some people don't really get good briefings. So if you're watching me and you're also planning to be a charlatan yourself, because most of you are watching me, you are pastors, it's good to follow the strategy of, let's say, Pastor Chris Okarfor, and do not get to engage with the actor, so that you can confidently say that you don't know the person. Did you regret your actions? She was asked and she said, yes, I did regret my actions. Why? Listen to her reason. She said, If I knew they would put my videos on social media, I would not do it. The fake miracles. It is poverty that pushed me into it, and when my husband died, I could not use my hand to do anything. I am a widow, there was no helper for me. If I knew it would lead to this, I would not have followed the girl. She burst into tears. My father had a stroke and my mother is dead. I lost one of my children and the remaining 2 live with my sister. Last question she was asked was, can you recount all you said before Pastor Okarfor and others who performed miracles on you? If you can say the same things in front of them. She said, yes, in fact, I am ready to take the police to all the churches because I am tired. All the pastors should be arrested. I can confront them with everything I just said. They cannot deny that they don't know me. I know I have made a mistake doing this, but I am tired. I regret doing what I did. And she said she regretted it. I'm glad she regretted it, because that right there is a massive deception, I would say. And these videos are still here on social media. People are watching it and validating the man because of the fake miracle. But Elijah, send a fire. Bless my